Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon Lovrier. I am live and loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, where I teach you how to thrive in change. The change that you love, that you've been wanting and planning for years, that sometimes can still be stressful, let's face it. And also the changes that we didn't invite, the things that we didn't ask for that came our way anyway. I am here to equip you to thrive in the midst of change. So thank you so much for joining me. I love meeting you here Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Shannon Lovrier Thrive and Change page. Thank you for being here. Tonight's Thrive principle is find the beauty. Find the beauty. We'll elaborate on that a little bit more as we move forward. But for those of you who are feeling hopeless, feeling stressed, feeling pressured, feeling angry, panicked, you name it, in the face of all of the changes that are coming our way thick and fast, I just want you to know that you're in the right place. There is hope, and I believe in you. And I believe that you are going to make it through this series of roller coaster changes. I believe you are going to. I believe it with my whole heart. And I am so glad that you are here to hear a good word and to learn how to deal better, right? To continually get better at dealing with the circumstances that come our way allows us to grow as people. And that growth, my friends, trickles down to our children, our grandchildren. It helps our spouses and our loved ones. It helps the people that we work with, the people who report to us at work, the people who we report to. Everything changes when we learn how to thrive in the midst of significant change. So with that, let's get started. Thumbroastcoffee.com, you guys. That is the place to get the world's best coffee. It is my favorite coffee. I highly recommend Sanilac Sunrise, and I highly recommend that you go order yours online and use the coupon code THRIVE to get 15% off. What's not to like about that? Delicious coffee and a discount sent right to your mailbox. It's all good. So go to thumbroastcoffee.com. Get your 15% off to try something good. You will not be sorry, I promise. So, for those of you who have just jumped on, welcome. Say hi in the chat. I'd love to know you're here. I am getting ready to share with you something that has helped me a lot. And I just want you to know it's not, hold on, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say, I'm not trying to minimize what you're going through. And for sure, I am not. But I think that just goes without saying. Folks, just so you know, this whole COVID experience and the fallout from it and the social distancing and the way I've changed, how I've had to change doing my business and how different it looks going to the grocery store and what's available when I go and all of these things, I'm not immune to that. And you're not immune to that. And so before I say anything about find the beauty, I just want you to know I get it. And I'm experiencing the same things that you're experiencing. When I say, are you feeling hopeless? Sometimes I've felt hopeless through this process, okay? When I ask you, are you feeling panicked? There have been times when I felt panicked, not knowing what am I going to do next. So it's not just you. You are not alone. But what I do want you to know is that there is a way out, and it is through. Okay? None of us get to snap our fingers and poof, be somewhere else, but we can get through this. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And the title of this is Hope and Hard. Hope and hard. When it comes to significant change, it's hard. And there's no sugarcoating that I can put on that for you. It's hard. What we have been going through here in the United States since March has been hard. It has been difficult. But it's important to acknowledge that and be real about it. We don't do ourselves any favors if we put our fingers in our ears and hum loudly and pretend that everything's okay, everything's la 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 la. That doesn't do us any good. That doesn't help us thrive. All it does when we deny reality, and I could have just as easily used the hashtag respect the now for this lesson tonight. When we deny the reality that it's hard, we are depriving ourselves of the opportunity to prepare to do something hard. Does that make sense? And so as we're looking at how do we deal with this feeling of hopelessness and, oh my gosh, is this ever going to be over? And I thought we'd be back to normal by now. Whatever change you're going through, when I'm airing this, the change that's hot on my mind is the pandemic, right? The pandemic has certainly been the most obvious and universally experienced change. But this applies no matter what kind of a change you're going through. You lose a job, or you lose a loved one, or you move to a new city. Whatever the change is, we still have to be honest with ourselves that parts of it are hard. We have to acknowledge that it's hard before we can have real and sincere hope. If we don't acknowledge the parts of our journey that are hard, then the thing that we call hope is really delusion. It's fake, it's phony, right? It's us pretending that it's going to be a piece of cake and a cakewalk, and all you have to do is fill in the blank, and it'll be awesome. But that's not real. In order for us to have genuine hope, we've got to understand that parts of our journey are going to be hard. So Carol says this: you have taught us to find a new normal and to continue and to trust the process. Carol, you've honed in on something critical, that we can continue. And I don't know about anybody else. I don't have children school age. I have grandchildren who are school age, and I feel so deeply for my daughter and son that are dealing with children that are getting ready to go to school, getting ready to go to preschool. I know many of you are dealing with those same things. That does not feel normal right now, does it? It doesn't. It's okay to not have it be normal yet. It's okay for it to not feel normal yet. Some things are starting to feel normal, right? Some things are starting to feel normal. Here in Michigan, the law is we have to wear masks when we are in public spaces. That's starting to feel more normal to me. I don't feel like I'm dressed up for a Halloween party or something. It takes some time, right? And all of us have a different space that it takes us for something to feel normal. But we can let go of what it used to be, right? That old normal's gone and it's not coming back. For one thing, we've changed, right? We've changed. As individuals, we've changed. So we're not going to have that old way back, but we can find a new way. But it requires us to keep continuing, to keep moving forward. We've got to understand that it's hard. It's difficult. I love this quote from Jim Collins, and he wrote the book Good to Great, which is a book about business leaders. But this principle applies to our lives probably even more than it applies to businesses. And I'm going to share it with you. He says this: retain faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties. And at the same time, we're talking about hope and hard. Retain faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties. And at the same time, confront the most brutal facts of your current reality whatever they might be. Hope. I know I'm going to prevail. I'm a Christian. I believe that nothing happens to me. Everything happens for my good. You may label it a different way, but the understanding that we are not victims in this, we are participants in it, and that our actions change the outcomes just like they did in the old normal. In the midst of this change, our actions, our choices today create what we're going to be walking into. So understanding that as we walk and make these choices, it's hard, it's difficult. But at the same time, knowing I have hope, I will prevail. I can't tell you exactly what the outcome will be. Significant changes like that, it totally disrupts our lives. We lose a loved one, our lives, they will never be the same. There has to be a new normal. There's a void there that cannot be filled, right? Significant change, earth-shaking change, breaks all the mold and starts creating a new one. But this is what I know, as difficult as it is, there is also hope that even though I don't know what this will look like, I believe that I will prevail in the end. I will get through this. Not because I can predict what the end will be, because none of us can, but because I can know that I am resilient. I walk with God. I have friends and family who support me. I am not alone in the midst of this change. We will get through it together, and we can hope in that. We cannot predict when things will look more like they used to look. I don't know when school is going to look like it used to look. It may never look like it used to look. In fact, I don't think it will ever look like it used to look. We cannot allow ourselves to fixate on the past, because when we put our hope back there, we are bound to be disappointed. But we can hope knowing I am resilient. I have faith. I have people who are going to be in this with me. We are strong, and find the beauty. There is always beauty. No matter how dark it is, there's always something good. So I guess I didn't number them tonight, but I guess if we were going to number it, this is number one that I want you to remember. That it is possible to find the beauty even when we are doing something that's very, very hard. In fact, we have to intentionally look for the beauty when things are hard. And that's not always easy, but I promise you, the beauty is always there. The darker the night, the brighter the light. The more chaos there is, balance says, if there's chaos in the things that I can see, I can find clarity and alignment inside, right? I can find a balance when things are chaos out there. We talked about this the last couple of weeks. When things are chaotic and in constant flux out there, where am I going to look for my consistency so that I have that balance? Because there's always a balance. It's there if you look. There's always beauty. The darker the night, the brighter the light. Even though it's hard, it's difficult, it's that uphill climb, right? It's that uphill climb. Even in the midst of that difficulty and that challenge, it is possible to find the upside. There's something good. Now, in the case of losing a loved one and a change like that, something that's I can't think of a bigger change. Does that mean when I say find the beauty, does that mean look on the bright side? There's an upside to having lost that person that you care about so deeply. That's not what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to find something that makes that pain go away. But what find the beauty means in the midst of significant change. What find the beauty means is that there is beauty that will emerge in the midst of that difficulty. And when we can spot it and appreciate it, we are going to have more hope. Okay? We are going to have more hope. When my mom passed away, when I lost my mom, it was horrific. It was is to this day still the person closest to me that I've lost. I've never lost anybody closer to me than my mom. And as difficult and terrible as that situation was, I was able to appreciate the beauty that emerged in the midst of it, the closeness that I developed with some of my siblings, the care and concern of people that I didn't realize cared for me like they did, but they showed me in tangible ways. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see. It was beautiful to see peace in the midst of something that was so stressful, to see peace emerge in people's hearts in the midst of it in a miraculous way. Beauty. It was hard. It was hard, but there was hope there, right? There was hope. So I just want you to know that there is always beauty. Find the beauty, and it's going to help you to have hope through these hard times. Where our focus goes, our energy flows. Where our focus goes, we go. Find that beauty, and you will head toward beauty. It's there, I promise. Look for it. So that's number one. Find the beauty. When it's hard, it's difficult, look for the bright lights that shine, the people who help, the things that you see that you didn't see before, the new appreciation you have. Whatever that beautiful thing is, allow yourself to identify it and lean into it. Love it. It is going to help you deal with all of this other change, right? It's not look on the bright side. No, it's find the beauty. There is beauty here. Look on the bright side says, ignore the dark side. Just focus on the light side. No, 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 no. It's hard, but I've got hope. It's difficult. It's going to take some time. Going to take some pain. It's going to take some intention. I'm going to have to work to climb this hill. But I am hopeful because I know that I can do it. I'm resilient. I'm resourced. I'm capable. I have everything I need to do. We are going to make it. We are going to make it. You are going to make it. All right, so that's number one. Number two is this. When we are feeling overwhelmed, when we are feeling panicked, all the changes flying at us, what style of school should I choose for my child? Should I have them go to virtual school? Should I have them sit in the classroom? So many, what should I do with my loved ones? So many decisions happening in the midst of this COVID. So many decisions happening, and the changes are large. Admittedly so, they are huge. They are big. They're significant. That's real. And it's difficult. That's real. But, and this is very hopeful. This is very hopeful. I want you to hear what I'm saying here. Just because the changes that we are going through are huge and earth-shaking doesn't mean that our solutions to getting through it have to be equally huge and earth-shaking. I'll say that again. The huge changes that we are going through do not necessarily require huge solutions to help us to be able to get through them. So years ago, when my husband and I were first married, he lifted weights, and he lifted heavy weights. He was very, very serious about it. And he had a shed where he would do all of his lifting. And he would go out there by himself. He would turn on the, I don't know, it was probably an 8-track, you guys. Turn on the stereo, and he would work out. He would do his exercising, lift his weights. He had dumbbells out there, and he'd do bench presses, all kinds of stuff. And one time he asked me to come out there. He asked me to spot him. Now, those of you who have any familiarity with weightlifting know what being a spotter is. Maybe you've done that in gymnastics. So he wanted me to be his spotter. And what that meant was I was supposed to stand by and sort of guard him and help him if he ran into trouble while he was getting ready to lift. I'm going to say it was 290 pounds. All right, it was a lot of weight. And I said, absolutely not. I cannot be your spotter with you lifting 290 pounds. I can't do it. I can't lift 290 pounds. He goes, oh, whoa, 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 Shannon. You don't have to lift 290 pounds. All you have to be able to lift is 10. Because I can lift 280 all day long, which is shocking when you think about it. Wow. But he said, I can lift that easily. He goes, it's that extra 10 that I need a little help with, maybe. Turns out he didn't need my help. Worked out great, and woohoo, he did a great job. But it was a lesson that I've kept to this day. He had a very, very heavy weight, but he was used to lifting heavy weight. You are used to doing hard things. If you were to tick off a list of some of the hard things you've had to do in your life, I'll bet pretty quick you could come up with 5 or 6 easily of things that you didn't know you could do, and you did them. You look back and say, wow, I'm amazing. I had no idea. You can do hard things. And so as we're navigating these major changes, the decisions that have to be made about school or work, the financial difficulties that some people are experiencing, the career decisions that you're feeling like you need to make, you've done hard things before. You aren't without resources. All you need is a little bit of help to make everything feel more doable. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, panicked, frustrated, angry, all of those legitimate feelings that go along with change that we didn't invite, I want you to know 2 things. Remember to find the beauty, because there's hope in the beauty. Yes, it's hard, but there's hope when you find that beauty. And the other thing I want you to remember is this: you don't need everything fixed, because that's not going to happen. You don't need everything fixed for you to be able to feel way better and way more hopeful and way more capable. You can get through this. You aren't going to get through it alone, but you've got me. You've got Carol and Mary. You've got Michelle. You've got Vicki. You've got Darlene. You've got Joe. You've got friends. You've got people who are with you that can help you lift that 10 pounds. You're going to be fine with the 280. You've been doing that for years. This extra bit, the thing that they call the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? All you need is a little bit of something to lift that straw up so that you get back into that zone where you can connect with the hope. How are you going to reconnect with the hope? How are you going to get the little bit of help that you need, the little bit of relief that you need so that you can carry on? Who at the end of 2020, when you are looking back over the year and in faith, I see me saying, wow, this year has been something else, but I did it. I've got a lot to be proud of. I've got a lot of good that happened in my life in the midst of all of this. I believe you can do the same thing. You are going to look back on this year and say, you know what? It was hard, but boy, I had hope. Who's going to be there celebrating with you? Who was with you on the journey? Is there a call you need to make to say, hey, could you help me out with this? Or, hey, what did you think? How can you reconnect with the groups that maybe you've stepped away from because now they're meeting virtually and you hate virtual? How could you reconnect with the people who help you to connect with your hope? You don't need everything fixed. You need a little bit of beauty to remind you that this is doable. Years ago, when I had a job that I adored, training people to communicate, helping groups to work well together, it was beautiful. I loved that job, and I got fired from that job, sadly and regrettably, because I was ineffective in some really key ways, and it was a tough change. It was a tough lesson for me to learn, and I was devastated. I was humiliated, and my schedule turned upside down. So not only was I embarrassed and felt like I'd wasted a year of my life, I was humiliated that I had fallen short. All of these things going through my mind personally, my world shaken, turned upside down, not going to be the same again. And then on top of it, my schedule changed. And so instead of working from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening and having Saturday and Sunday off, I had to work from 3:30 in the afternoon until midnight, and I had to work on the weekends. Everything turned upside down for me, and I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like it was impossible. And I was furious at myself for allowing it to happen because I felt responsible for it. And in some ways I was. I was furious with myself. I was furious with people for not giving me more of a chance. I resented that I had to change everything about my routine, and I had kids in school, and it was going to be really, really hard. And I felt like I couldn't do it. And then I started looking for the beauty. And what I realized was this: as much as I didn't like working afternoons, my commute was shorter. So there was something. And I was driving against traffic instead of with it. So there was something. And I had an opportunity to stop at my favorite gas station to gas up and get myself a big gulp. There was some beauty in that. Did it fix everything? Did it find me a childcare? Did it take care of my weird sleep? Did it allow me to have more time with my husband? It didn't. And that was still hard. But that little bit of beauty, the little bit of bright side, the little bit of hope that I could tap into allowed me to keep moving. And then as I kept moving, don't you know, things started to come into place. Solutions started to appear. Opportunities, people, creative ways to manage the childcare and manage, they all started to happen once I was able to tap into that little bit of hope. My hope tonight for you is this. I hope that this Sunday Night Live can be a little bit of your hope. I hope that when things just feel too heavy and you just can't lift the 290 pounds, I hope that I can be your spotter, that I can lift 5 or 10 pounds of that load, just enough for you to know, yep, still hard, but I can do it. I can do it. Take a deep breath. Know this. You can get through this. You will be okay, and not just okay. You will thrive. You will thrive because you're choosing to lean in to the process of allowing yourself to feel the feels, to understand that it's hard, but also allowing yourself to, at the same time, realize there's some good here. There's some good stuff I'm going to take away from this. There's some lessons I'm going to be glad I learned. There's a big gulp on my way to work. Whatever it is, I hope that this is a part of it. Share this with people that you know need some hope. You can do this. You can. I know you can. I know you can. All you need is just a little bit of hope. You're going to make it. You're going to make it. God bless you. What are you dealing with? Where is your hope coming from in the midst of all of these changes? I would love, if you want to share in the comments, I would love to know, where are you going to look for your hope that's going to help you to get through this hard stuff? Let me know what it is. let us know. Maybe we can look there too. I recommend a Big Gulp. What can I say? Let's see. We've got a comment here. Sometimes, let's see. Let's do this. Sometimes it's hard to find the balance, but we have each other to help us figure out the last part, just like the last 10 pounds. Great advice. Taking leadership classes have helped so much. Carol, that is powerful. And I appreciate your faithfulness to Sunday Night Live. And I appreciate your faithfulness to the live stream leadership classes, because that consistency of exposing ourselves to great teaching, great principles comes in really handy when the rubber hits the road, right? When changes hit. Mary, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. And you were here on time, or pretty close. So I know you like to watch live whenever you can. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. God bless you. Take care. I look forward to seeing you again next week, where we're going to talk more about how to thrive in change. It's hard, but you've got hope. Take care. Mwah. Bye.